Liverpool's recent matches have been a true test of endurance for the fans, and especially for Mohamed Salah. The Egyptian star, who continues to rack up impressive numbers, has gone unnoticed in crucial moments, leaving doubts about his influence on the field. Against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, Salah was neutralised, failing to make an impact. And in the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle, he was practically a luxury spectator. It is undeniable that Salah is still on track for another brilliant season in terms of goals and assists. However, a closer look reveals that his presence in the games has been less impactful than it should be. The goals scored in recent rounds, many of them from penalties, help to mask an uncomfortable truth. The number 11 is struggling to influence the game the way he did in previous years. When Salah shines, Liverpool shines. But when he's nullified, Arne Slot's team seems stuck, lacking creativity and consistent options to decide matches. Luis Diaz oscillates between brilliant and lacklustre performances, Darwin Núñez and Diogo Jota remain inconsistent, and the midfield has simply not been a reliable source of goals. The result? If Salah is isolated on the wing, Liverpool becomes predictable and less lethal. In light of this, an intriguing question arises. What if Salah could reinvent himself following Lionel Messi's example? The Argentine, early in his career, played on the wings, cutting inside and deciding games with lethal finishes, exactly like Salah does. But under Pep Guardiola's command, Messi transformed into the famous false nine, centralising his position and becoming the team's playmaker. This change was crucial in prolonging Messi's dominance and maximising his impact. In Luis Enrique's Barcelona, he returned to playing wide alongside Suarez and Neymar, but later was repositioned more centrally to better exploit his creativity and game control. What if Salah followed this script? Instead of being limited to the right wing where opponents have already learned to neutralise him with double marking, he could be moved to a more central role. This would allow him to be more involved in build-up play, create space for other attackers, and still remain a direct threat to the opposition's goal. For Salah, the past few weeks have been crucial both on and off the field. His contract is becoming a hot topic, and the player's desire to remain at Anfield seems clear. The issue is, if he can't prove he is still the one who decides important games, would Liverpool be willing to make a long-term investment in him? The solution may lie in the hands of Arne Slot. The Dutch manager could experiment with new formations to unlock Salah's talent. A 3-4-3 system, inspired by Ruben Amorim, where Salah would play behind a central striker, could be an interesting alternative. Another option would be to reposition Salah as an advanced playmaker, freeing up the right flank for players like Conor Bradley, allowing the Egyptian to dictate the tempo of the attack from a more influential position. Evidence suggests that Salah has everything to adapt. In the early days of his Liverpool career, when he played more centrally alongside Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino, his numbers were overwhelming. He scored 34 goals in 42 games. Since then, he has only evolved technically, becoming a more complete and creative player. Recent statistics don't lie. Against PSG, Salah touched the ball only 41 times. Against Newcastle, even worse, 23 touches. These numbers show a worrying trend. If this lack of involvement continues, Liverpool could face a sharp decline in their offensive output. It's time for Arne Slot to make a bold decision. Keeping Salah on the wing, relying solely on his individual talent to escape suffocating marking, may no longer be viable. The smartest path may be to reposition him strategically, allowing him to continue being the creative engine of the team. If Liverpool wants to keep Salah as a key player and get the best out of him in the coming years, the answer may lie in the lesson left by Messi. Reinventing oneself is not a weakness, but rather an essential step to prolong greatness. Last Sunday was a nightmare for Liverpool and Arne Slot. The defeat in the Carabao Cup final to Newcastle United at Wembley left a bitter and concerning feeling for the Reds. The team's performance was below expectations, and Mohamed Salah, previously one of the biggest stars of the squad, went unnoticed during the match. The anticipation for a great clash was disappointed, and instead of celebrating a title, Liverpool found itself overwhelmed by a determined and superior Newcastle. This defeat was a hard blow, but at the same time, it represents an opportunity for Arne Slot to show that his team can overcome this setback and stay focused on the true goal of the season: winning the Premier League. Now, the challenge is even greater. The pressure on the Dutch coach has increased, as Liverpool cannot afford more setbacks, especially at such a crucial moment of the season. Slot has already expressed his frustration with the international break, as he was hoping for a quick chance to react. "I would love to play against Everton next week," he said, clearly indicating how much he desires an immediate response from his team. The 2-week wait until Liverpool's next Premier League match seems excessive, especially when the leadership in the Championship is at stake and the team needs to maintain its 12-point advantage over Arsenal. The defeat in the Carabao Cup, though disappointing, did not change Arne Slot's priority: securing the Premier League title. With only 9 rounds remaining, Liverpool still holds a comfortable lead, but the Championship is far from decided. Arsenal, despite their loss to Chelsea, remains in the fight, and any mistake by Liverpool could open the door for an improbable recovery by the London team. For Slot, the mission now is twofold: find ways to prevent performance drops, like the one seen at Wembley, from happening again, and ensure that his team stays fully focused on the season's biggest goal. Signs that Liverpool can overcome the defeat at Wembley and bounce back are beginning to appear. For Arne Slot, the key is to find the balance between tactically adjusting the team and maintaining the players' confidence. After the loss to Newcastle, one of the main points raised by critics and analysts was the lack of offensive creativity from Liverpool. Mohamed Salah, usually the creative and goal-scoring engine of the team, did not have the expected impact. Newcastle's defence neutralised his presence, which caused great concern for the team. Slot needs to address this and ensure that Salah, along with the other forwards, becomes decisive again, something that will be crucial in the Championship battle. Salah himself, after a lacklustre performance, knows the responsibility he carries in the coming rounds. His marking was intense, and he had few touches on the ball, something very rare for the Egyptian star. However, Salah's individual quality is not in question, and therefore it is essential for Slot to seek tactical alternatives to maximise his main player's impact. The team needs a decisive Salah more than ever, especially in the tougher matches, such as the one against Everton. The big question Arne Slot now faces is how to adjust the team so that it can respond in the best possible way. With the international break, the team will have time to reflect and adjust its tactics, but the pressure of such an important season requires quick answers. Confidence in their abilities is at its limit, and Slot knows that a good performance in the Merseyside derby will be the best way to ensure Liverpool gets back on track for the Premier League. The anticipation for this game is palpable,